Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today Rob Pelinka has turned the Lakers into NBA title contenders. So, as you guys know, the Lakers just made a massive trade for Luka Doncic, but the Luka Doncic trade is not the reason why I'm making this video, and is not the reason that I think the Lakers are NBA title contenders. Now, obviously, Luka is a huge reason why the Lakers, if they were to go on a title run this year, he would be probably the biggest reason. But even before Luka had been traded to this team, the Lakers were playing some of the best basketball out of anyone in the entire NBA. And I had been kind of thinking this for like a week or two before the trade. I was kind of saying like, hey, I actually kind of like what the Lakers are doing right now. And I think that after you got rid of when you flipped D'Angelo Russell for Dorian Finney-Smith, and I really liked how Max Christie was playing, and I liked how Austin Reeves was playing, I liked how Rui was playing, I thought Jackson Hayes was giving him good minutes. Well, I thought, well, maybe am I crazy? Is this something that I just want to happen but actually isn't happening? Well, after Luka Doncic's debut with the Los Angeles Lakers, I saw these stats about how the Lakers have been performing over the last 3 weeks. And this is stuff that made me think, yeah, this team is a legit NBA title contender. So I'll go ahead and show you guys those stats right now. So this is the Los Angeles Lakers over the last 3 weeks of the NBA season. They have won 10 of 11 games, 10 wins, 1 loss. That's the best record in the entire NBA. That is the first, they are first in defense. That is something I was not expecting to read. They are first in the NBA in defense over that stretch. They are second in net rating. They are sixth in offense, and they have 6 straight games with 120 plus points. And Luka has only played in 1 of these 11 games. I also want to point out here, too, that even you could be like, oh, well, Anthony Davis was playing a lot of those games. Well, Anthony Davis has not played for the Lakers for half of those games. He played that 1 loss. He only played in like 9 or 10 minutes, I believe, against the Sixers, and then he got hurt. But since then, since that loss to the Sixers, the Lakers are on a 6-game winning streak right now. So you could say, well, Anthony Davis is there for a lot of those games. Yeah, he was there for some, but most of those games were without Anthony Davis. And that is what is so amazing about the stretch right now for the Lakers. Even, we thought that maybe Luka's debut was going to be that Saturday game against the Pacers, who are a pretty good playoff team in the East, and no LeBron, no Luka, and they kind of kicked the Pacers' butts. They handled them. Austin Reeves had like the best game of his career. And that is kind of the thing that if you've been watching the Lakers all year, JJ's figured it out. Everyone's bought in now. It took a while. It's kind of similar, I think, to when Ime Udoka took over the Boston Celtics in the 2022 NBA Finals run that they went on, where if you followed that team through the first half of the year, they're like a 500 basketball team. And then finally, things started to click halfway through the seasons. They went on a run. They ended up going to the NBA Finals, falling short to the Golden State Warriors. But still, that was the time where we were like, oh, Ime Udoka is one of the best coaches in the NBA, and he's figured out the right buttons to press with that Boston nucleus to get them to a stage of NBA basketball that they had never been to before. And I think that's kind of what's going on with JJ Redick here. You could see at times when it was like December, and it was like, oh my God, they have the same record for the Lakers through 25 games as under JJ Redick as they did for Darvin Ham. But right now, the Lakers are like, I think they're 32-19. They have a pretty easy stretch of games coming up here. And I think they're going to keep winning. They're right now the 4th seed in the West. And I just look at this Lakers team, I look at their path, and I think there's a realistic path that they can make the NBA Finals. Now, are they the number 1 title contender out of everyone in the NBA? Are they the number 1 title contender in the Western Conference? No, they are not. But for the first time since the 2020 season, the Lakers are in a position where I think they're one of the 5 or 6 top NBA title contender teams. And I think a huge reason for that is, too, no one is really sticking out in the Eastern Conference right now. You have the Cavaliers, who are head and shoulders of everyone in the standings. But other than that, you have Boston, who is the 2nd seed, who if you kind of listen to the national media, their kind of response with the Celtics is like, oh, maybe they've been a little bit, down this year because they're bored. They just are waiting for the playoffs because that's really ultimately what matters to them most. And they don't care about winning, 68 games in the regular season anymore. They just want to get to the postseason. If you listen to some of the local Boston people, the Boston fans, they're a little bit more concerned with Boston right now. But I still think that they can win an NBA title. The other contender, I think, in the East is the Knicks. I don't know if I believe that much in the Bucks right now. I think the Knicks can be a title contender. So I really like Jalen Brunson and Cat and all the moves that they made this offseason. And I think their 6-7 man rotation is just as good as anyone in the NBA. But then if you look in the Western Conference and you compare everyone in the West to the Lakers right now, there's only two teams that right now I would think have a better shot of winning the NBA Finals than the Lakers, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that is the Denver Nuggets. The Oklahoma City Thunder right now have the best record in the NBA, and props to them because they have been doing that so much so without Chet Holmgren for a large stretch of the season. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed significant time this year. So they've been playing small. They've been playing guys out of position, and it really hasn't mattered. SGA has been amazing. J-Dub's awesome. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, all of these guys up and down this roster. Alex Caruso. There's so many guys on this Oklahoma City roster that make them an absolute juggernaut. The only question is with the Thunder now, though, is this is a team that has very little postseason experience. A lot of key guys on this team are still very, very young. And historically, throughout NBA history, young teams eventually, even if they're playing teams that they might be more talented than in the postseason, a lot of times they fall short to more veteran, experienced teams and guys that have been, in multiple postseasons, guys that are in their late 20s, early 30s. And this Oklahoma City Thunder team has only won one playoff series together, and that was last year. Other than that, they really haven't had that much postseason experience together. So I don't think that there is 100% a, layup to go all the way to the NBA Finals and have no one, bother them on their way there, especially too when I remember last year where Luka Doncic kind of single-handedly, I know PJ Washington is always amazing against the Thunder for some reason, but Luka Doncic wins that series against OKC with Kyrie Irving having kind of a subpar series. I believe he only averaged like 15 or 16 points against the Thunder last year in the playoffs. And now you're telling me that a Luka LeBron combo against those guys, I don't know who guards them. I don't know who you have guard both of them. You might be able to say that, like, hey, you can have Lou Dort guard Luka, but then I don't know who's guarding LeBron. Jalen Williams? Like, I think the Lakers have a realistic chance to win that series. Now, would they be favored? No, but I think they have a realistic chance. The other team in the West, the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are the team that have had the Lakers number for the last, like, 2 seasons. I think it's like a tremendous, like it's like they've won like 10 out of 11 or something like that, or might even be more than that against the Los Angeles Lakers. And you're looking at the Lakers, you're looking at their roster right now, and you are saying that, oh my God, they still don't have a center. The Mark Williams trade didn't go through. They have Jackson Hayes, and they signed Alex Len, and they got Trey Jemison, and you got Maxi Kleber, you got Markieff Morris trying to be your 5. Like, they play against any, big men in the playoffs, they're going to get absolutely cooked. My response to that is, wasn't Nikola Jokic just cooking them anyway? I was looking through the last year's playoff series against them. Nikola Jokic had multiple games in the playoff series against the Lakers where he had 20 plus rebounds. Dude was averaging a triple-double. Dude was absolutely phenomenal. And that's when the Lakers had Anthony Davis guarding him and were game planning, how do we stop Nikola Jokic every single game. So Nikola Jokic is going to get his. And the difference, too, I think this year, one, I think they're better coached to JJ Redick. And also, two, the Lakers actually have a closer. They have Luka Doncic, who's the best closer out of anyone probably in the NBA. I don't know who you'd want to have more with the ball in their hands to try and get me a good shot with a minute or less remaining in the game other than Luka Doncic. I mean, Jokic is up there, but it's a very short list of guys that you would rather have the ball in their hands than Luka Doncic. And going back to a lot of those Lakers games against the Nuggets, the reasons that they weren't winning and beating them in the playoffs was because they weren't finishing games. And if you got the ultimate finisher in Luka Doncic, I think that gives them a better shot, even without Anthony Davis and even without, consistent minutes from the center position or traditional center position. I think the Lakers have a better shot. Now, again, I'd probably pick the Nuggets in that series, but they still have a shot. And that's something that I don't know if you could have said 12 months ago. The last reason I think the Lakers are a legit title contender this year is I don't know if there's a better 1-2 combo duo in the NBA right now than Luka Doncic, LeBron James. Like, Luka Kyrie was one of the best combos, and LeBron's a lot better than Kyrie. No offense, Kyrie. I look around the NBA, you want to say Tatum Brown, better combo. They're reigning, defending NBA champions, but Jaylen Brown has been not having the best basketball of his career so far this year. His efficiency has gone down a little bit. Doesn't necessarily seem to be playing his best basketball right now. Again, maybe things change in the postseason and he can turn it on and become a finals MVP caliber player again when the postseason starts. But I still think, like, hey, the LeBron Luka, that's a pretty good comparison to those two. Are you going to say Jokic Murray a better duo? Again, I know that they've won a title together, but Jamal Murray at times has been kind of on and off this year. He was on and off last year in the playoffs. Like, I still like my chances with a LeBron Luka duo. And other than that, are you going with SGA Chet? Like, this is probably one of the scariest duos that you could play in the postseason. If you're comparing it to the other teams that you could potentially play in the West, would you rather play the Clippers or the Lakers? Would you rather play the Grizzlies or the Lakers? Would you rather play the Rockets or the Lakers? Like, I'd probably rather play all of those other teams than the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm just looking at this roster. They got versatility. They got size. They got multiple guys that could hit 3-point shots. They got multiple guys that can play defense. They're playing team defense. There might not be a lot of individually great defenders on this team. But again, JJ's got them playing really good basketball right now. And if they can keep this up and they can stay healthy, I think they have a very realistic shot to make the NBA Finals this year. I think that is very realistic, even though they don't have a reliable center, which is, I know, is crazy to say, but I don't know if it's going to matter. I don't know if there's that many teams that can take advantage of that. And again, if they're going to play awesome team defense together and they're just going to have an incredible offense with LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, and all the other key pieces that they have, I like the Lakers' chances. I think they have a realistic shot to go on a run this year. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the Lakers. Are they a legit title contender this year? Or is this a team that's maybe going to take a year or two to become a title contender with Luka Doncic as their best player? How do you think they'd fare against the Nuggets? How do you think you'd fare against OKC or anyone else in the East? Would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to check out other videos on Sports Detective Podcast channel page. You might like some of them. And thank you very much for watching. We'll talk to you next time.